To show you how you can use the 48 times Ultimate PTZ camera in the web interface. So you do need to use the Internet Explorer mode that is inside of Microsoft Edge. In order to enable that, you first need to open Microsoft Edge from your Windows computer. Come up here to the right-hand side for the settings. Go into settings, and then to enable IE mode or Internet Explorer mode, you need to go in the default browser tab of the Edge settings. And then here it will say allow sites to be reloaded in Internet Explorer mode. By default, that's disabled. So we do need to click on the default setting and click allow. It's going to require you to restart Microsoft Edge and enable the mode. So you click that and it quickly will restart depending on how fast your computer is. You do need to know the IP address for your camera. In this instance, I'm using the default, factory default from Avalonix 192.168.1.109. If we've set it for you, then there may be a label on the top of your PTZ box, or you may need to refer to the email that you had with our shipping department. So I'm typing in the username and password for the camera, and then I'm going to hit enter, or you can click right on the login button in the web interface. As I mentioned, it does require a plugin, but first I need to actually go into Internet Explorer mode. So I logged in, but I need to go into Internet Explorer mode, and it is going to require me to log in again. So to get there, again, I just click the three dots here to open the menu in Edge, and then I need to click Reload in Internet Explorer mode. So when I do that, it's going to do some magic in the background here, and I can close out of this, or I can make sure that it opens in an Internet Explorer mode every time that I type this IP address into my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and enable that, and then click Done. As I mentioned, I do need to log back into my camera, so typing the username and password, again, will be found on a label on your camera, or the green pamphlet that's included with the camera, or again, refer to the email from our shipping or support department. So I'm clicking login to log into the camera. Now I do need to install the plugin. So it says, please click here. It's going to quickly download the plugin from the camera. I need to click run. I need to click run again. It installs it. And then I need to come down here and actually click this button and click allow for all websites. That way I don't need to do this every time. And it's going to ask you to do this possibly once or twice. So typing this password back in after the plugin installs, and I can allow it to communicate on my networks. And now I have the web interface for my camera pulled up. So depending on the performance of your computer and the plugin, you may have some frame skipping occurring, and this will happen once again, depending on the performance of your computer, the performance of your network, and if the camera is sending out a lot of data to various things such as an NVR or multiple other computers, or if somebody else has the camera open in the software or in their web interface. But once you're in here, on the right-hand side, you do have the PTZ controls, and this will allow you to control the PTZ. So clicking the left arrow moves the PTZ to the left, clicking the right arrow moves the PTZ to the right, clicking the down arrow, I'm going to tilt the camera down, up, it's going to go up. And then you have your zoom, focus, and iris controls. So if I plus zoom in, then I can negative zoom out. Down at the bottom, we have some PTZ functions such as the presets, tour, scan, pattern, pan, go to a preset. And then at the bottom, we have some other various options here. If I wanted to bring the camera into full screen, I would click the full screen option, and then I can double click to get back out of the full screen option. Up at the top right-hand side, we have controls for the camera itself. Here we have the wiper control, so I click on that to open the wiper menu. I can either start the wiper, stop the wiper, or tell it to go one time. So if I click once, it's going to activate the wiper a single time. Here I could mark an area on the camera if I wanted to return to this area. We have the regional focus. There's alarm relays. Digital zoom, if I wanted to zoom in digitally on something that the camera is seeing, I could do that. I could take a snapshot. This is going to save it to my computer. And then I have the triple snapshot. It takes 3 snapshots in a row. Next would be if I wanted to record a video file to my computer, manual tracking. And then if you had a microphone connected to the system, you could take advantage of the audio in, which would be audio. And then if you had a microphone connected, you could take advantage of the talk button. So you could do two-way audio with this camera if you add a microphone and speaker. The camera has connections on its pigtail for those two things. Last but not least, in the middle of the camera, we have the position or 3D targeting. This is similar to digital zoom, except in this instance, if I draw a shape, this rectangle, it's actually going to tell the camera to zoom and focus in on the area. And as I have that selected, I can continue to do this and zoom in on this building across the street. So that's the 3D targeting feature. Now let me show you the power of this camera. So I'm going to zoom all the way back out. I'm going to pan it to the left. And those townhouses in the background are roughly 1/4 of a mile away from this camera. So this is a 48 times zoom camera. If I zoom this camera all the way in, then it intelligently slows down the pan and tilt when you zoom in. That way you're not going to overshoot anything. I can actually get a clear picture of these townhouses that are 1/4 mile away. If somebody were in that window, I could actually see them waving back to this camera. And that is, like I said, around 1/4 mile away, around 1,300 to 1,400 feet away from this camera. I could actually see a human inside of that building waving at the camera if they were there. So this camera is extremely powerful. So this camera also even has 1,300 feet of IR night vision, so it would reach that townhouse as well in nighttime. Unfortunately, we're in an urban area, so we don't really have an open field to show how far the IR light really beams, but rest assured, if you had it pointing at this area, the IR would be able to reach this far. And not only does it reach that far, the camera also intelligently will adjust its IR depending on the zoom level. Hopefully this gives you a good overview of the web interface from the 48X Ultimate Pan Tilt Zoom Camera. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.